time to celebrate 5 years of the Méndez Principles and take stock of their successes and ongoing challenges. 5 years ago, the Méndez Principles prompted a landmark shift in interviewing during investigations and other information gathering. For decades, a deeply embedded assumption was that effective investigations depend on pressure, confrontation, and extracting confessions. From movies to television dramas, the image of the tough interrogation room became synonymous with finding the truth. But the reality is different. Research, experience, and practice have shown that coercive investigations are not the most effective way to obtain accurate and reliable information. They increase the risk of false confessions, wrongful convictions, and human rights violations. They undermine trust in institutions and can compromise the search for truth itself. The Méndez Principles brought together scientific research, ethics, and human rights law to demonstrate something both simple and transformative. The most effective interviews are those that respect human dignity, build rapport, and seek reliable information, not confessions. 5 years later, the Méndez Principles have evolved from an ambitious initiative into an increasingly recognised international standard. They've been referenced by the United Nations General Assembly and recognised by other UN bodies and regional human rights bodies. New partnerships have emerged. Momentum is growing. Most importantly, there is implementation by governments, police services, prosecutors, judges, oversight bodies, and others. Across Africa, Asia, Europe and Latin America, and beyond, we see change taking shape. Training programs have been developed, guidance has been issued. For example, in Mongolia, audiovisual recording has been introduced in police interview rooms nationwide, alongside a deliberate shift in language from interrogation to interviewing, signalling a move toward more transparent and non-coercive practices. In Thailand, prosecutors from the Office of the Attorney General have led efforts to promote effective interviewing across more than 20 law enforcement agencies. This is a powerful sign of institutional ownership. And in Brazil, sustained dialogue with the judiciary has led to a landmark ruling calling for the Méndez Principles to be incorporated into the national legal framework. In Madagascar, even amid a difficult and at times repressive environment, new tools have been introduced that strengthen safeguards in everyday police custody. What began as a set of principles is becoming a framework for reform. At the heart of the principles is a simple yet powerful idea. Effective interviewing and the prevention of torture and ill treatment are not separate goals. They reinforce one another. When people are treated with dignity, when interviews are conducted professionally, and when safeguards are respected, the information obtained is more reliable. Investigations are stronger and justice is better served. This is why safeguards are so important. Safeguards are often seen as procedural requirements or administrative obligations, but in reality they are among the most effective tools for preventing torture and ill treatment. Access to a lawyer. Information about rights, accurate custody records, independent oversight, contact with family members, and prompt access to medical care where needed. Just some of the important safeguards. These protections are not obstacles to investigations. They're what make those investigations legitimate, credible, and effective. Safeguards protect individuals from abuse. They protect investigators from false allegations. And they help ensure that information gathered during interviews can be trusted. Despite the progress we've seen, challenges do remain. In many places, laws and policies have moved ahead faster than practice. Confession-driven approaches remain deeply rooted in some institutions, and training and resources are limited. Oversight mechanisms are not always strong enough, and changing institutional culture takes time. At the APT, we've learned that implementation is not a single step, it's a process. It requires legal frameworks, institutional commitment, professional training, effective safeguards, and independent oversight. Most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. A shift from asking, how do we get a confession to asking how do we obtain accurate and reliable information. It requires leadership. It requires investment in professional interviewing skills. It requires accountability. And it requires a clear commitment to respect of human rights and dignity. The next 5 years must be about moving from awareness to implementation. The question today is no longer whether the Méndez Principles work. The evidence is clear, they do. The question is whether we're prepared to fully embed these principles into everyday practice, across police stations, military settings, intelligence services, and all other places where people are questioned by the authorities. Every investigator deserves the skills, training, and support needed to conduct professional and effective interviews. And every society deserves a system of justice that seeks truth without coercion. 5 years on, the Méndez Principles continue to offer a clear vision of what is possible. Our task is to make that vision a reality.